It's a sad and solemn day for us here at Horror Movie Night. Sadly, we're saying goodbye to our will to live. Gone too soon and unfairly taken away from us for no good reason. But we'll always remember the good times, though. Like the times we had before we watched Terror Toons. It's a crying shame, too, because we had so much potential. But alas, now we're kicking off to the big old podcast in the sky. But remember us as we were. Angry, awkward, and drunk. Goodbye. Goodbye.
All right. Rest in peace. My will to live, 2016. God, but not God.
I don't think we've ever had to pull teeth more on a human being to watch a movie than we've had to try to get Adam to watch the hour and 10 minutes that is Terror Toons.
Yeah, seriously, he's gonna have to gum his food for the rest of his life.
I wish that I had just lied and Wikipedia'd it and IMDb'd it and just tried to sort of play it off like I watched it, I totally watched it. No, I watched the whole fucking thing, and I'm...
Yeah, you did.
How do you feel?
This is top spot for the worst we've ever watched now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you'd have to come into my home and fucking drill into my head. If you came here and pissed in my face for an hour and 10 minutes, I'd be like, it wasn't Terror Toons.
So we have a listener to thank for this one. Shane sent us an email. It was a very short and sweet one. It just said, "You guys have to do the brain damage film classic Terror Toons. Good luck taking apart that masterpiece. Love the show." And then, when I told him that we were going to be covering this, he also said, "Awesome, man. I'll be tuning in for sure. My girlfriend and I live in Rochester, New York, and we have a heavy metal radio show that we do every week for a local radio station. Let Scott know that we have played a few tracks off the Shred Tendo EP, and our fans really enjoy it." So, he did at least kiss a little bit of ass before we got into this.
The thing is that he might have kissed a little bit of ass, but it was like after I'd watched this movie, so I very begrudgingly was like, "Thanks for plugging Console Crash in Rochester. I appreciate it."
All right, so I actually got it.
If Shane had came here and kicked me in the back of the head every 15 seconds while I was watching this, then I'd say, thank you for giving me some distraction to look away from Terror Toons. But no.
I've got something embarrassing to tell you guys.
Did you fucking love this movie?
I have watched this movie like 9 times. I have watched this movie so many times. I own it.
Listen, Adam, now I think that we can truly say that Matt has worse impulse control than you.
Woo, that's fucking saying something. I have no respect for you. And you know what? You have no fucking respect for yourself.
So I will try. I will start by saying that this movie is terrible. This is not a good movie at all. The reason why I've watched this movie so many times, though, is that this is one of those movies to me that is so unspeakably bad that it has to be seen to be believed. Like, someone explaining this movie to you will never do the justice of how bad it really is. But it's also a movie that I think only works in a group setting, because when I watched it for the podcast, it was the first time I didn't watch it with a group of people. Watching it with a group of people, this movie's a lot of fun because it's just so bad and you're just laughing and having a good time with each other. But watching it alone for the first time was kind of like watching my parents have sex. Like, it was so uncomfortable, and I was like, why do I own this? Like, that kept running through my head while I was watching it, because this movie is awful. But, like, I guess when you're surrounded by people who are, like, making fun of how bad it is, you don't really focus on how truly terrible and uncomfortable the whole movie is.
I would never do this to my friends.
So
and I feel like Matt holds his friends in much higher regard than you hold yours. So that's really saying something.
The movie starts with this fucking fantastic lo-fi intro, which is probably my favorite element of the movie. Because, like,
Dude, this is an hour and 10 minutes, or wait, How long is this crap?
Hour 15, I think, actually. But this is the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Hour 20, but they pad it out with a bunch of unnecessary bullshit. Like this guy at the beginning who sounds like somebody is twisting his nuts the whole time that's trying to talk.
Wait. This is why Matt likes it. You guys know how we always make fun of Matt for loving that terrible song from Bad Channels.
Yeah.
Psychotic Symphony.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a full-length movie of that video. I know that you're loving it. Like, I'm watching this. I actually paid attention to this movie for the first half an hour before my brain literally melted out my eye, and I became comatose for the remainder of the film. I just could not actually take notes beyond the 30-minute mark, but one of my first notes is like, I'm sure Matt's loving this.
I love this opening scene because it's a dude who looks like he got kicked out of Rancid, and he's like giving you an explanation on what the movie's about. Because trust me, if you didn't have this intro, you wouldn't understand what this movie was anyway. He's just like, "Welcome to the brain damage classic, Terror Toons. The doctor is in," and it's just like these terrible jokes. I think I have the one line written down is that led to an insane bloodfest murder spree is how he describes this movie. God
damn it. See, I don't find any of this charming. Like, I know that you're like laughing and having a good time, finger up your own ass about this movie, but there's nothing entertaining about this. I can't cringe any harder. My face caved in for an hour and 10 minutes. Like, it is the worst shit I've ever seen. Like, I'm not enjoying myself.
You remember that episode of The Simpsons where Homer eats the world's sourest gumball and he's making that face where like his whole face is just like, same Scott, same. Also, it caved in a little bit more when I started aggressively punching myself in my own fucking face.
So we've got this opening kill, which is probably my favorite in the whole movie.
The one in Toontown or whatever?
Yeah. Where they pull the guy's skull out through his stomach. The thing about this movie that I will give it credit for, which is more than anyone in this world will give it credit for, is they picked a dumb premise and they picked some shit-ass special effects, but goddammit, they stuck with those shit-ass special effects.
But the thing about that is that annoyed me more than if they had been trying to shine this turd a little bit more. But no, their green screen is just so shoddy. It's like it's a bunch of high schoolers doing a project.
Yeah,
it's so bad. I just want to go down the quick litany of just intolerable bullshit. We have we have this first kill, and whatever the doctor character's name is, what's his name?
Dr. Carnage, is it?
Dr. Carnage. Okay, so Dr. Carnage, like the guy who is playing Dr. Carnage, because there's a person in that suit, can't see.
No.
Nobody can see anything, and so it's basically like somebody paper mache'd that stupid mask, and they're like, they don't need to breathe or see anything. They don't have to have direction. Nothing. Just this movie is so intolerably bad. Fucking Trauma. People watch this and they're like, man, this is cheap.
Yeah. And there's no dialogue. It's like the characters, the two main villains speak no lines of dialogue. It's all just the same sound effect of a laugh and like a monkey noise. Just played over and over again.
We're just going to use the same laugh every single second that he's on screen. So you're going to get the kind of thing, but you're going to get it 600 fucking times over the course of this hour and 20 fucking minutes. Same with this song. We're going to use that same fucking song.
The fake Danny Elfman soundtrack that's throughout this entire movie.
That shit was written by Psychotic Symphony.
Oh, it had to have been.
There's no other explanation for this film.
So it's bad green screen and the $3 fucking set that they've built, and they have this. I feel like they're trying to. They're doing one of two things. Either the people in this movie are supposed to be like young children, but they're casting them as, they are like 35-year-old men and women, right?
Yeah.
So,
the one's a porn star. The little girl is a porn star.
When you told me that the girl with the gigantic rock hard fake tits is a porn star, I was like, wait a minute. She's supposed to be a little girl.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like 9. Yeah, she's supposed to be like 9 or 10, probably.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But here's the other thing: is the main character of the movie, the older sister, also a porn star.
Yeah.
But does she even take her clothes off completely? Like,
no, she at no point in this movie gets naked because I guess she's trying to like legitimize herself with Terror.
I don't think this is a step up from porn. I really don't.
Yeah.
No, this is a step down from porn. Like,
it probably has a higher budget than most porn, and it's still like.
No, I don't think you understand how much money gets put into porn in these days.
Matt, why don't you explain to us why you know this?
I worked for a porn star for a while. There's some big budgets in there. The Star Wars porn was like a couple G's. This was like $10.
We watched Zack and Miri. We already knew that Star Wars porn was expensive.
Also, there's the mothers being played by a dude in drag, which is a weird choice.
Almost funny. It kind of reminded me of the aunt in Sleepaway Camp and Adam's impression, which kind of tied me over for a hot minute when I was like, "Do you think I'm fucking crazy?"
I packed you some chips. At least I think I did.
So
Adam, I think we figured out what you should have been for Halloween this year.
There's still time. No, that was one of the many points in the movie where I was like, no, you can't do this to me. I'm gonna shut you off. Don't fuck. And then she was, the actor was out of the scene, and I was like, oh, okay. But then, pretty much every 90 seconds, I was like, should I just bail? Should I just fucking...
How many times did you almost shut it off when the cartoon credits started coming by and it was like, directed by Say 10, produced by Beelzebub, and then it just...
no one wanted to put their real name in it.
It was so... Well, no, this was when they start watching the Terror Toons cartoon DVD in the DVD player.
That. Okay,
it's one of my favorite jokes because it's like, written by Saint 10... directed by Beelzebub, and it's all this different stuff, and then it just says produced by the devil. Like, it just stops being creative at all. It's just like slapping you in the face. Like, in case you didn't get the puns, the devil made this cartoon series. Side note, it's super disturbing. The blend of like live action and cartoon stuff is like beyond unsettling, where it's like an actress, but she's licking a lollipop, so it's like a cartoon tongue, and her eyeballs keep turning into animated eyeballs with each lick.
It's just terrible. No, Matt. Dude, I wish we were in the same room. I would smack your nose with a rolled up newspaper so hard right now.
But I love that cop. I love that cop death with a classic Bugs Bunny maneuver of changing the baton with a stick of dynamite.
Yeah, and then there's that skeleton, and they just kind of give it like a ooga booga little shake before it falls down. But how did I fucking know that this movie would not have any actual animated parts in it? Like, there's no way they had a budget to do any animation, right? So it's all just like this shitty clip art, fucking awful editing that they put on. That's fuck.
I'm trying to think what else there is. There's a note here where you realize how it's insane. I wrote, 4 of the most obnoxious people ever play strip Ouija while a sister is killed by cartoons.
There's a part also when they're playing that Ouija board that one of the guys just looks straight at the camera, and then the other guy really admires the blonde guy's stomach roll. Like, he's like... obviously I fucking him. And I'm like, wait. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not part of his character.
No, and then there's the part where she's like, he's like, okay, if you take off your shirt, then I'll take off my boxers. And his friend very excitedly was like, yeah!
That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's definitely some like, did they get gay porn stars to be in this too? Do we know? Like,
It's very possible that these are gay for pay porn stars as well. Yeah.
gay for pay, not regular gay porn stars, just gay for pay.
Well, there's also this like there's that weird like they're lifting weights when she calls to invite them over and he doesn't remember her name. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I said Cynthia." No, like it's so ridiculous. The painfully weird like Japanese pizza place. I forget what it was called.
Wonton pizza.
Wonton.
Shanghai pizza.
Shanghai pizza. It is just it's a bad movie, man. I'm not even.
Well, the thing is that you are like defending it. You're like, oh yeah, I've watched it, like 9 times.
I'm not saying that it's a good. I've never said that I watched it 9 times and I thought that it was a masterpiece of cinema. I'm just saying that I watched it a lot. It was one of those movies that's fun to throw on in the background at a party, like, because it's actually really the perfect. It's a shame that this episode's coming out after Halloween, because this is like the perfect, you turn the volume down, you throw it on the TV at the Halloween party, and like as the party's going on, people are like, what the fuck is on the television right now? Kind of movie.
I feel like you'd have a whole lot fewer friends if you did that, because they'd be like, really, you don't have the goddamn courtesy not to put on Terror Toons when I'm over? I'm out of here.
You put on Terror Toons again?
I can so imagine just people being like, "Fuck, he keeps doing it," and we keep telling him not to, but he gets so excited. You just gotta let him. Just let him. Don't pay attention to the. It's fine.
There's not one but 2 sequels to this movie. 2. One of them came out a year ago.
Yeah, and it was actually much harder to find the original on Amazon. I paid for this movie, by the way. I paid to watch this film for you, Matt. Not
I didn't
for
pick it.
Tyler. Or whatever.
Shane.
Shane. Sorry, Shane. I did not watch this for Shane. I watched it for you. Because what we haven't mentioned yet is the fact that this request came in, and we do have executive decision-making skills here where at Horror Movie Night where, like if somebody were to normally pick Terror Toons, you'd be like, ha, thanks, but no. But number one stunner over here, Matt Kelly, had to just be like, we're doing it.
And I think that it's been a delightful episode, so I'm glad I made that decision.
So upset with you. Like, I just cannot put into words how offended I am by you tonight. Like,
how much did you pay for this, Scott?
I paid $1.99 plus tax. Those are American dollars.
So if we adjust for inflation of how bad this was and how much suffering you've been through, I think Matt probably owes you like $250. I mean like $250 in return, right?
Actually, Matt.
Yes.
I know what you can do to make it up to me. You can drink a beer.
No, never. So the cartoon.
Good. Go. I want you on the same downward spiral that this movie is fucking driving.
Just one beer, he'll be like Frank the Tank. Just can't stop.
So
we're playing strip Ouija.
Dude, take off your pants right now. Wait. I just want to rewind a couple months back when our good pal Adam decided to pick, I believe it was The Guardian. And there was a shitload of male nudity in that movie. If I'm remembering correctly. If it wasn't that one, it was the pick that he did before that.
There was a lot of man ass, I feel like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of man ass in The Guardian. If not, it was whatever he picked before that. But I just remember... No! I think it was... What you picked before that. I can't remember. One of you guys picked something with so much man nudity. And I was just like, man, I got to keep that in the back of my mind to make fun of them someday. And I thought today was the day, but I'm not prepared. I'm sorry.
I'll cut that. That story went nowhere.
By the way,
one of the lost episodes.
Matt, you did mention that Terror Toons 3 came out a year ago, right?
Yeah.
So halfway through, I realized, this this chick has got to be a porn star. It's like the main girl, Beverly Lynn. I was like, has to be a porn star, right? So I Google her up. I look at a couple things, and then I find her on Twitter. And you know what she's saying on Twitter, like up until a week ago?
What?
Check out my new movie, Terror Toons 3. That came out a year ago. Please pay attention.
Please watch it. So the cartoon characters kill literally everybody except for the main character, who gets to meet Satan and turn into a superhero. And then the movie just goes off the... Like, I also kind of eyes glazed over at this point because I was like, I don't remember any of this. Like, I think even all the times that I've watched it with friends,
She whacked the computer with a pole for 7-8 minutes. You're like, why would I watch that? What the fuck?
And then so the parents come home and find the main character just surrounded by dead friends, screaming and covered in blood. And it's, one of those endings where it's like, oh my God, she's going to get blamed for all of this death. And then it shows another little kid getting a Terror Toons VHS tape in the mail or DVD in the mail. And, we know that in another 7 or 8 years, they'll finally get their shit together to make Terror Toons 2. There's a lot of bad in this movie and very little good, but I still stand by. You watch it with a group of people, it's going to be more fun than if you're watching it by yourself, because this is torture by yourself. Fucking torture by yourself. And I won't pretend that it's not, and I apologize to you guys, but I guarantee that if we had watched this when you guys were all out in this area, for an event, we would have had a way better time with this movie.
Yeah, well, we have stuff to do when we come out there, so I will not be getting blacked out drunk, so you can fucking submit me through Terror Toons again. But
No, we'll watch Terror Toons 2. It'll be a new experience.
Oh. Matt, I'm going to politely decline.
No, don't worry. I didn't even buy Terror Toons 2.
Yet.
Although that chick seems to be really interested in me seeing Terror Toons 3, so maybe I'll find her on Twitter and let her know that I bought the DVD.
That's Lizzie. We're talking about Beverly Lynn, the main chick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lizzie,
sorry. I didn't realize that dead people can't come back to life in Terror Toons.
Not when they're turned into a ventriloquist dummy. And
I bet that the writers of this movie thought that was going to hit like an earthquake. People were just going to be like, oh, it's so funny. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Come on, dear God.
Well, what about the symbolism, though, that she's sitting on a couch that also has a ventriloquist dummy there? It's almost like they were trying to foreshadow her death.
Shut up.
I need that as the sound clip that plays every time Adam messages us. Just
we need a Google Chrome extension of me. Shut up.
No, you weren't upset. You were confused and worried. You're like, wait, shut up.
So there was a solid chance we were going to try to get Cannon, who we talked about at great length in a few episodes in the past, trying to get him to guest on this episode, because there was part of me that was going to hope that he would see things like that and be able to bullshit some explanation why this movie is secretly a masterpiece. And then tonight he sent me a message that says, this thing is unwatchable. Let me do a different podcast and tell me that none of you guys like this one.
It's going to be bad if Cannon even can't fake interest in it. In Star Wars 4, I think it is, where he's just when Kirk is like, Khan!
Did you say Star Wars 4 when Kirk yells Khan?
Star Trek.
You had so many pieces of that wrong. It's Star Trek. It's Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Because Star Trek is for nerds. Shut up.
Says the guy who knows the name of Jabba the Hutt's bed.
Wait, Salacious B. Crumb? Who doesn't know that? Come on.
Yeah. Listen, I gave you that nickname a while ago, yeah. No, that was fucking amazing. Don't you dare delete a single fucking syllable of that. That was perfect. Star Wars 4.
The Wrath of Khan. The Wrath of Cannon. That was what I was getting at. I was just going to say Cannon instead of Khan. Fucking hell. See, this is what this movie does to me.
Well, we can stop talking about Terror Toons if you guys want.
Yeah, we got almost a half an hour out of this movie, which is way more content than that. I bet that somewhere the creator of this movie is like, he took the $3 that I spent on, like $2 and whatever change on watching Terror Toons. He went to a Coinstar, changed the money into pennies, and he's rolling around on the floor with my money like, I took your money. And he's so excited that somebody cares about this stupid piece of crap.
I don't know. I think what's going to really happen is you're going to get a message on Twitter from some random girl from My Free Cams holding a sign that says, "Thanks, Scott, that he spent your $3 on."
No. Adam already told us that costs $12.
I was going to say I hope that he I hope he spent it on a crippling, life-ending heroin addiction. Anyways,
so
I have one more note for this movie.
Let's hear it.
That's it. This is the point that I stopped taking notes, but I think a little bit after Scott. I think I'm maybe around the 35-40 minute mark here, but
so glad we both fell off right around the same time.
Yeah. So one guy dies from laughing. I guess if only this movie was funny, I too could feel the sweet release of death.
See, if you would have done an entire movie's worth of notes like that, this would be like the best episode ever.
No, most of my notes are like, Candy has a boyfriend? Fucking gross. Like, just...
like gossipy shit about the movie.
Basically, if you turn this into an episode of Flavor of Love, season 2, the best season.
The best season, obviously. All right, so speaking of that, what did you guys watch this week?
I will, at some point in time, continue my analysis of Flavor of Love, because
If you can find your special Flavor of Love Trapper Keeper.
Oh, you hear this? You hear this? I got it. I know where it's at.
It's been on his pillow the entire time.
I just had more important shit that I wanted to talk about this week, because I am all caught up on Westworld now.
Is that as good as people are saying it is?
It's gonna depend. Somebody told me, I watched the first episode of it, and I really didn't like it. And I sort of I was like, well, what was your reason for disliking it? And they said, well, it's kind of like Jurassic Park syndrome, where you're watching these people go to this place, and you're just like, this is a horrible idea.
Well, it's from Michael Crichton, so of course it's got Jurassic Park syndrome.
Exactly, that's what I said to him. And that's correct, but there's so much good going on. There's so many good actors in it, putting in fucking amazing performances, and then just cool set pieces and sort of effects and stuff that I got past that real quick. It's fascinating right now, but it's really, really confusing, and I feel like even by the time that it finishes, I'm probably not going to understand a lot of stuff. I'm going to be reading the subreddit and trying to get a bit of a better idea as to what's going on there, because I'm having a hard time following it. But fuck, man, Anthony Hopkins in this, and it's really, really good. Definitely worth a watch.
Well, so wait, quick question here. Do you guys ever get that feeling that you're in the Matrix, and a black cat just walked across the screen twice, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you've hit a deja vu moment in the Matrix.
Yeah, this is the exact same conversation we had like a week ago.
No, because originally he said that he hadn't watched it yet. He had just been thinking about watching it.
Are you sure? Well, you edited the episode, so you probably remember better than me. But you did ask the exact same question. You were like, so is it as good as people say it is, or whatever? It's like back-to-back, same question. It's like you did an interview of Adam before he started the series, and now that he's caught up with however many episodes we are in.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's fine. It's whatever. I'll trim it.
Okay. That's the only thing you'll trim.
But I'm bummed.
And then I watched the first episode of season 2 of Ash versus Evil Dead.
How was it?
You don't need an answer. You're going to watch it. It's fucking Ash versus Evil Dead. It's sweet. Great.
All right.
Uh,
So Scott, what did you watch this week?
I actually could not bring myself to watch anything special this week. Terror Toons sucked the will to live out of me. I actually lost 15 pounds. All I did was lay in bed and wish to die. Luckily, the newest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on, and it was helpful. So was Luke Cage. Megan and I are almost done with it, and it's awesome. We're taking it very slow. Megan enjoys it. And I'm assuming that she will like the ending, although she does not like the ending of Jessica Jones, so we will see. And then I have actually been putting off watching The Flash because I want to get like a nice little group of episodes so that I can just burn through it on an afternoon because I don't like waiting. And then I watched only the first episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and it's like everything that I like about the first Avengers movie. And they just burn through their effects budget every episode. It's hilarious. It's a great show. And it's way better already than season 1 was. That's me.
So we're recording this a few weeks before it's actually coming out because I'll be
Don't
away.
tell them that.
I will tell them because I'm going to be away at Disney, so it's important to tying into this. I haven't had a chance to really watch anything, but I have been getting in my little dosage of haunts. I've gone to a bunch of the local haunts in my area. So I went to, we have one not far from me called Bates Motel, which is pretty awesome. It's for $40, you get 3 different amusement attractions. You get a hayride, a walk through haunted house, and a corn maze filled with a bunch of stuff. It's really cool. I really like Bates Motel. It's been a place that I've been going to since I was like 8 or 9. And then additionally, I went to Terror Behind the Walls, which is in Eastern State Penitentiary, which is one of the supposedly most haunted places in the East Coast. It is a fucking terrifying experience. It's a lot of fun, but it is really fucking scary because you're walking through like death row of a prison with people dressed as zombies and shit, and they'll take you and lock you into prison cells and leave you there for like 10 minutes and separate you from your group and force you to go through stuff by yourself. And it is a really intense experience. And because of the fact that one of my friends works at Terror, they went with me to Bates, and what I later found out was that there is an actual intense rivalry between the Terror people and the Bates people and this third haunted attraction that I've never been to called Penhurst Asylum. And what I'm getting at is that I'm making an announcement right now on the podcast of something that I'm looking to probably do next year, and we'll see what happens, but I've already made a bunch of phone calls to people about it, is I am going to make a documentary. I'm going to make a doc about these 3 haunts and their like 15-year rivalry against each other, because there was a point where Fangoria magazine about 5 years ago went to every haunted attraction in the United States and created their list of the 100 best places for haunted houses, and all 3 of those locations were in the top 10, making Philadelphia the spot with the most high-rated haunted attractions. So all of them are constantly battling to be the best one in Philly. I think it would be a super interesting documentary following them throughout their haunt season as they kind of try to outdo each other throughout the year. So that is a thing that I'm thinking about doing. Scott, if you would be interested in doing any of the soundtrack for that, I would love to offer that to you as well. Adam, if there's anything that you can do for it, I'd love it to be something that we tie in with this podcast one day as like a horror movie presents documentary. But that is a thing that
I would absolutely do the entire soundtrack for you.
All right. Well, that is a thing I wanted to announce on the show. God knows what will happen over the next year, but I like trying to be as open and honest about my future plans with the listeners of this show. So that is a thing that is possibly going to be happening this time next year. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Was that? Do you guys go to any haunts in your guys' area?
I try and hit at least one a year. Like I went to one last year, and it's been harder. I don't go to them by myself. Megan doesn't want to go with me to them because she gets scared. So I usually go with my buddies from growing up, and we're gonna go to the one at Blossom, which is a new one that I have not been to. So apparently it's an outdoor one that is supposed to be real fun. So we're gonna see that. We're gonna go do that on Sunday.
Nice.
of this week.
Yeah. Adam?
Yeah, there's a small one that's right in my town that's just like a couple of trailers they put together, and depending on how my schedule looks year to year, I will I'll go and I'll like volunteer and do like 4 or 5 hours scaring the shit out of little kids and then eat some free pizza.
Nice.
And that was the game show that we like to play on this show called Was It Canada or Was It the Deep South?
You'll never know. Yeah, and then there's like a Casberry Farms near me where like you go, there's a whole haunted like barn walkthrough, like corn mazes, shit like that. But I was seeing somebody with a kid last year, so that's kind of the only reason I went to that one.
All right, that was Terror Toons from 2002, as picked by one of our listeners, Shane. Next week, we're going to be discussing a movie that was picked by Scott that is possibly the most dramatic shift of film that we've had in a long, long time. I'm not saying that he picked a good movie, but he definitely picked a better movie than Terror Toons, which isn't hard. Not a difficult thing that he achieved. But we will be discussing that. But just a reminder to hit up our Patreon. Donate to any of the many tiers. We appreciate it at patreon.com/HMN podcast. This episode, actually, I think we'll start next week. Starting next week, we're going to start doing the shout-outs to the people who've been donating to the Patreon, and we'll get a nice list going together. But thank you for everyone that's been donating. There's always time to throw some more money to us. If you haven't yet, join part of the newsletter, get a shout-out, all that good stuff that we want to do for you guys, for all of your support. Also, make sure that you follow us on Twitter. You can get hit on by Adam at HMN Podcast, or you can send us your rates, reviews, and subscribes on iTunes or SoundCloud and all that other good jazz. Thank you for listening, and enjoy your week. Thank you for letting Scott play.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.